All right, so let's talk about trigger links. Trigger links are an amazing feature of the platform that allows you to put special magical links into your text messages and emails. And these links are special because you can do two things with it. One is you can track specific customer actions, like when they click the link, and you can also make events happen based on when the link is actually clicked. So, for example, let's say you want to send out a link to your customers via text, and you want to tag every customer that actually opens that link. That would allow you to know, hey, this customer is interested in the link that they clicked. And then maybe you want to send some follow-up communication to that customer based on whether or not they clicked the link. So that's a case that you might use a trigger link. I love personally using these in my marketing because it allows you to really do some cool stuff. You can track and see who else clicked your link. You can also fire off additional marketing automation based on that. You can also do things like notify yourself when someone has clicked on a specific link. So it's a great tool to add to your arsenal in your marketing flow. So to set up a trigger link, what you're going to do is you're going to navigate on the left side navigation, click on marketing, and then you're going to head up to trigger links. There should be an option, a little drop down that says links. Click that, and it should take you to this page right here. Now, when you first get started, yours will probably be blank just like this. You can click the little link right here to set up your first trigger link, or you can do add a link here. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on add a link. And the first thing that you want to do is to give your trigger link a name. And I highly recommend that you name it something that you're going to remember, because we're going to use this link later and we want to make sure that we can actually remember what we named the link. That way it's easy for us to find, especially if you have lots of trigger links over time. It just helps make it really, really easy to remember. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to name this one Google, just for example. And what we'll do is we'll put our link URL. This is where you want to send them to. So I'm going to do www.google.com. And actually, let's go ahead and add the HTTPS. And they're just like that. So we've got our link. It goes to Google, and we'll click Save. Now you have a trigger link set up into your system for Google. Now, in your case, you would probably make a trigger link for like your landing page or websites. You can do all kinds of different things with that. But in our case, just for an example purposes, we're going to use Google for this. Now, once you've got it set up, please note you can actually delete your link over here. You also have the little pencil icon where you can edit it. So you can go back through and edit your trigger link as well, just in case there's some kind of issue there. But now we know we've got a name right here in Google. That's what our trigger link is called. So what we'll do is we'll head over to automation. This is where your workflows are. And to use our trigger links, we need to have a campaign, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a new workflow, and we'll just start from scratch here and then click create new workflow. Now, what we want to do is to create a workflow for this specific trigger. So for example purposes, let's just use that tagging example and then maybe send a follow-up email based on if someone clicked that trigger link. So what we'll do, we'll first start out by naming our workflow. So we'll just do trigger link as our name. You probably want to name it something to remember that's relevant to you. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with this new workflow trigger right here. So our trigger is going to be that someone clicked the trigger link, right? So what we're going to do is we'll click on the trigger, and over here we've got new trigger CRM, and then we've got choose a workflow trigger. So in our case, we're going to pick that a trigger link was clicked. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to look for trigger link clicked. Here we go. All right. So now we've got that when someone clicks that link, we need to identify, what the actual trigger link is. So we're going to add some filters to it. So we'll click on filters, trigger link, and then we're going to select from our list of trigger links right here. So as you can see, Google pops up. Now, once you have a lot of them, this is what I was talking about naming it something that you're going to remember. Most likely over time, you're going to have lots of trigger links here so you can track all these actions. And so in this case, we've got it easy to find that way because we named it something that we're going to remember. So I'm going to select Google, and we're going to click down here, the Save Trigger button. So now when someone clicks this trigger link, we can have actions happen based on them clicking that link. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an action, and then we'll just add a contact tag. So we're going to go ahead and name this like clicked Google trigger, just to give you an example here. Clicked Google trigger, and we're going to add a new tag and save action. So now when someone clicks that link that we send out, it's going to add that tag. So let's say we want to add a follow-up communication to it. Hey, we sent somebody over to Google's website, in your case, it'd be like a landing page or something. And then we want to send up a follow-up message to that person. So you could just add an action, send email. Then you fill out the email fields, the from name, from email, subject, and then of course your email there. Then you'll click save action to send that out. So that's just to give you an example of what you can do with the trigger link. Well, now in your actual marketing, you've got to send that link out. So let me show you how to do that. There's a couple of different ways. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to save this workflow and back out. And let's say I want to use this in a workflow. So I'm going to create a new workflow. And what I'm going to do is we're just going to add a text message here. And I'm going to say, hey, check out this really cool site, Google. Here is the link. So over here, you see in the builder, there's trigger links right here now. So what I can do is I can go and hit the down arrow and click Google. So now instead of just typing Google, I have my special trigger link into the message that now when they click it, it's going to tag them because I already have them in the workflow that that's the trigger. And then of course it can send out that email that we set up earlier. So trigger links are really amazing. It's a great way to track your results in your marketing. It's a great way to really create very powerful dynamic campaigns for when people take specific actions and so forth. So be sure to add these to your workflows and your actual marketing, because it can dramatically help creating really, really cool campaigns with trigger links. All right, thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.